Welcome to Living with the Times. In the Gregorian calendar, this week is the week of the Six-Day War. In 1967, between June 5th and June 10th, those 6 days were miraculous things occurred. For those who don't have the background, in the month or two preceding June 5th, the Arab nations announced quite openly to the entire world that they were going to destroy Israel. They didn't try to hide it. They broadcast it very, very publicly. And at that time, there was a peacekeeping United Nations force in the Sinai Desert. And amazingly enough, they were there to keep peace. And the Arab nations demanded that the United Nations leave the Sinai. And they did, which was astounding because the Arab nations announced openly their intention of destroying Israel. And I have to say, I remember I was 18 years old at the time, and I, like everyone else, was following the news, and it looked dire. It looked like the entire world had abandoned Israel. And from all reports in Israel also, there was a tremendous amount of fear of another Holocaust happening, that the entire Arab world was about to come down on Israel. And there was tremendous tension for the whole month leading up to June 5th. On June 5th, Israel did something that was unprecedented at the time. They went ahead with a preemptive strike, and in a matter of hours, they destroyed the combined air forces of all the Arab nations neighboring Israel. And then in 6 days, Israel just conquered the Sinai, Judea and Samaria, and the Golan Heights. And in 6 days it was over. The world was in absolute shock. The Jewish people were in shock. It was really miracles of biblical proportions. It was like straight out of miracles of the Bible. Unfortunately, it didn't lead to peace. There have been many attempts to make peace. And Israel has gone through many, many wars subsequent to the Six-Day War. But still, there was a sea change in not only in Israel. I remember Reb Shlomo saying all the time that what's called the Summer of Love in San Francisco in 1967, and the awakening of youth all over the world wanting something more spiritual, something more meaningful. He always tied that to the reunification of Jerusalem, which happened during the Six-Day War. And he always tied these two events together and said, because of these miracles and the reunification of Jerusalem and the acquisition of so many biblical lands and sites, he said that awoke a new thing in the world. So hopefully, just 2-3 years ago, the Abraham Accords were signed. And of course, it was only with a number of Arab countries, but it was a tremendous breakthrough. No one could have anticipated this happening. And so we have to hope that something new can happen, also of biblical proportions. As everyone knows, we have 1 foot in redemption, 1 foot in the Geula. And Jews are being gathered from the 4 corners of the world. Very soon, the majority of Jews will be living in Israel and not outside of Israel, which will be the first time in 2,500 years from the time of the first temple. And Israel is the startup nation and has so much to give to the world. And so hopefully in our day, we'll see more miracles and the unfolding of the full redemption of the world and peace everywhere.